Today marks the day we're actually turning our ads back on for the year, which means money is coming out of our account without knowing if it's going to go back in. I also want to take this opportunity to just share the journey now rather than later, because I think it's super important to understand what goes through my head, what goes through our head when we don't know the results. So our ad campaign at the moment is actually 3 levels of ads. We just called them level 1, 2, and 3 to make it easy. Level 1 was these text-based only still image ads, nothing else. They were just text-based because Meta's algorithm actually came out with this new idea that the creative, what people actually see, Meta will use AI to examine who that goes to. We purely let the creative decide who gets to see these ads, which has worked really well and crazy, if you ask me, just wild. So that was level 1. Level 2 and 3 were video ads with me talking to camera, but they were 2 very different ads. So the whole idea was level 2 gets fed to people that have engaged with the level 1 text ads. So the idea is we see who's interested. It's not just cold. We see who's interested in the text ads. They've put their email through a landing page, and then we send them the level 2 ad, which is me talking. So it gives that founder-led vibe we were going for. The whole idea is I'm answering the questions of like, who's saying this? Why should I listen? And is this person actually credible? That's me, hopefully. The whole idea of level 2 is to reduce uncertainty rather than to sell Coastal. So level 3's purpose, once again, it was just me on camera talking to camera. Level 3's purpose is conviction and trust, making sure that when they do look into Coastal further, they can work out, can we trust this person? And the whole idea of that ad is to convict them to do that. The whole point of this is we're not convincing strangers, we're convincing people that were already sort of nodding at the idea and they were like, oh, okay. Yeah, I am a producer that needs a constant visual partner. Okay, this guy knows what he's talking about. Maybe I should look into it. And then the third ad is dealt to them being like, here's all our cards on the table. You know you want it. The whole idea of this sort of campaign was not to make ads that just sort of work on their own. It was to make a whole workflow and a whole path that a potential customer could follow and could build trust with and could actually enjoy the process and be like, you know what, this is actually probably the right decision, and it makes it easier on them. That's the whole idea. One thing I should have mentioned earlier, but I'm happy to mention it now, is how these ads actually work. So some people think that you just put an ad out there and then you just get money somehow, but that's not really how it works. There's a whole system behind it. So our system is the ads go out, they click on it and they go to a landing page, which is a part of our website. That landing page only asks for their email. And then once they send that email, we automatically send them a PDF. And the PDF is very top line on Coastal, how we work, how a visual partner works and what the visual partner model is. And there's even a price range in there. So that's just, everything's up front and it just sort of cuts the crap out early, because trust me, when you run ads, you get a lot of crap, a lot. So once they're on the landing page, they've gotten that email, they've gotten the PDF, they're like, well, this ain't for me, or maybe they're interested, but maybe they don't want to make a move. So once their emails come through, we've set up a 4 email chase campaign, I guess you would call it. So they get 4 emails 3 or 4 days apart that are just like prodding them a bit more, reinforcing what they're scared about, reinforcing their issues, and most importantly, reinforcing how we can help. So the one thing a lot of people sort of get scared about and want to know what other businesses are doing is how much they're spending. I've heard so many stories from so many agencies that, you know, people are spending $2,500 a day on ads or $5,000 a day on ads, as long as they can get $10,000 a day back ROI. Like, they're the big dogs. And look, I'll be honest, we're not spending that much money. We're not. Like, the whole idea for these ads is to essentially get a conversation and a call with a client with me. That's just how this is working. That's where all my energy is going at the moment, running Coastal. So with spending, we have guardrails. We have a capped price. We only can afford so much a month. That's just how it is, and that changes and it fluctuates. We also do it based on timing, so we don't have never-ending ads. We do it based on like whether it's a week at a time or months at a time. The point of the timing is at the end we can have clear pause, everything stop the money leaving, let's review what happened. Let's see if it makes sense and see if it worked. So the whole idea, I just want you to understand that if an ad fails, it doesn't mean the whole thing's failed. That's not how it works. It just means that it's either a creative issue, or maybe it's a messaging issue, or it's a targeting issue even. So the numbers. So what we spend right now, when we started, let me get this right. We started and I was so scared about spending this money. I spent about $5 a day, which in hindsight is not much, but look, it made a dent. It gave me learnings. It gave me something to base off. It gave me data, which was big in this space. It showed me who was interested, but it also showed me what creative was working. And then once I sort of honed in what was working, which seemed to be me talking to camera, which was nervous-wracking to start, but that seemed to work. So what I did was grabbed that, bit the bullet on a monthly budget, which is what we sort of do now, and it works out to be $100 a day is what we're spending. So the way I look at it is I look at our bank account, essentially our cash flow, the invoices coming in, the quotes that are out, and I go, we can afford $3,000 this month on ads. Simple as that. You might be able to afford $1,000. You might be able to afford $100 a month on ads. Doesn't matter. The idea is the data will be the same. It's just the X times will be better the more you spend. That's it. I've got my daughter rolling around on the ground. So I think that's going to wrap it up for this episode. I really wanted to dive deep into the ads, how we spend them, why we do it, what we're doing. And I think in a couple of weeks' time, I'll actually do an update on this and sort of give you a results situation as it happens then and there, not after the fact I've fixed things or tweaked things or mastered things, just raw, here it is, here's what happened. We lost money or we got a heap of leads and it was great. Hopefully it's great and it went really well.